Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He's full of ideas that sound impressive and he can get excited about possibilities. But when it comes to rolling up his sleeves and sticking with hard work, he's easily discouraged or distracted. This means you may see him talking big but not always backing it up with action.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he's more likely to quietly back off than to fight through the challenge. He doesn't lose his temper or make a scene, but you might see him withdrawing, keeping his worries to himself and avoiding difficult conversations. You won't see dramatic breakdowns, but you might feel he's giving up too easily.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
Most people at work won't find him rude or aggressive because he doesn't start fights or get into loud arguments. He's actually quite distant and keeps to himself, so he avoids drama. So while he doesn't have enemies, he probably isn't very popular either.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you shine in your career, he probably won't feel threatened or jealous. He tends to keep his feelings to himself and doesn't get easily worked up, so you're not likely to see drama or angry outbursts. Simply put, your achievements won't shake his ego, nor will they spark much celebration.
What if you start earning more than him?
He isn't the type to secretly resent you or let your success make him feel small. He prefers to keep his feelings hidden and won't get caught up in power struggles or jealousy. If you out earn him, he's likely to stay quiet, retreat into his own thoughts, and carry on as usual.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He isn't a careful planner when it comes to money, often spending on things that catch his interest or seem exciting in the moment. You may notice he forgets to budget or doesn't track where his money goes. He's not wild with spending, but you shouldn't rely on him to manage finances with caution or strict rules.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He's more likely to get caught up chasing new interests or things that look good, sometimes spending money just to keep life exciting. He doesn't plan or save very carefully, so he might end up reaching for things that look fancy even if they stretch his budget. You'll need to keep an eye on the household budget.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He isn't someone who's naturally warm or generous. He tends to keep to himself and isn't very open hearted with his money or feelings. You'll notice he's rarely the first to offer help or share, and he may not think much about what others need. His openness is limited, and he's not strong on kindness or giving without a reason.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He's more distant than controlling when it comes to money. He's not likely to argue or hide things on purpose, but he may not share openly about his finances either. This can make him seem secretive, but it's usually more about his habit of pulling away than wanting power over you.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He probably doesn't think much about rules or fairness when it comes to housework. If you don't speak up, he may simply leave most chores to you, not because he believes it's only your job, but because he's used to putting off tasks he doesn't enjoy. Otherwise, you may find yourself doing most of the housework without much support.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He isn't likely to jump in and do chores or diapers on his own. Often he drifts into the background, maybe watching or commenting, but not really getting involved in the hard work. It's not that he doesn't care, but he's more comfortable keeping distance than getting his hands dirty.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He isn't the type to start arguments just to prove a point. Instead, he often steps back and avoids getting into disagreements. But this also means he may not fully try to understand your side. He could become quiet or distant instead of listening carefully.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he usually stays quiet and keeps his feelings to himself. He won't lash out, say hurtful things, or act in a threatening way. You might feel the coldness or distance, but you won't have to worry about harsh words or disrespectful behavior.
Does he have a bad temper?
No, this is not a man who gets angry very quickly. He tends to keep his feelings inside and doesn't lose his temper easily. You won't face sudden outbursts or scary moments, so this isn't a red flag about anger.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He isn't quick to blame you when things go wrong, but he also isn't good at saying sorry or owning up to his mistakes. Instead of apologizing openly, he often stays quiet or distances himself from the issue. Don't expect blame or big fights, but do expect calm retreat, making it hard to resolve problems the way you want.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He's not likely to push hard against your boundaries as he doesn't have a forceful or aggressive nature. If you say no, he usually backs off quietly and doesn't try to argue or change your mind. You won't have to worry about him crossing the line. He'll step back and leave you with your choices.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
No, he's not the kind of man who takes it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. He tends to keep his feelings private and doesn't get upset or sulky about things like this. You won't find yourself needing to explain or soothe his ego. He lets things be.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to handle private moments with care. He isn't the type to use anything personal against you or embarrass you later. He values his own privacy, so he respects yours as well.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He isn't someone who goes looking for drama or attention from other women, but he does get excited by new experiences and things that spark his interest. While he isn't openly flirtatious, his focus can shift if something fresh catches his eye, making him seem distant or distracted at times. He's not aggressive about chasing others, but you may feel he isn't fully committed or connected.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
No, he isn't over possessive or the type to act jealous, controlling, or always suspicious. He tends to keep his feelings inside and doesn't get worked up about who you talk to or where you go. You won't find him checking up on you or making scenes if he feels insecure.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, he isn't someone whose protective nature masks a controlling personality. He doesn't have a habit of bossing you around or making strict rules for what you can and can't do. You won't see him acting possessive or using care as an excuse to control.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He's unlikely to see parenting as a true team effort. Most of the time, he'll let you take on the bigger share of the work, stepping back or staying occupied with his own interests. It's not that he's mean, but he doesn't naturally step up to share the load or plan things together.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he tends to stay calm and doesn't lose his temper. He won't yell or get harsh even during stressful moments. The kids might miss having a steady hand to help them through mistakes, as he often chooses distance over deeper engagement.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He won't stand in the way of you being both a mother and your own person. He doesn't try to control your choices or keep you from pursuing your dreams. Instead, he keeps his distance and lets you handle things as you like without drama or jealousy.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
No, he isn't the kind of man who secretly supports your career now, but plans to ask you to quit later. He doesn't put much energy into controlling your choices, so it's unlikely he'll suddenly change and insist you give up your job after having a child. He generally lets you decide what's best for yourself without stepping in or placing demands.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He's likely to stay quiet and distant with your parents, acting polite enough but not showing real warmth or deep interest. While he won't be rude or cause problems, you might notice he doesn't put effort into building close relationships or joining family conversations. You'll need to be patient and may have to encourage small steps toward a better bond. He's not likely to try hard to adjust to your family, nor will he openly demand that they change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or tries to interfere, he will mostly handle it by staying calm and quiet. He doesn't pick fights or make big scenes. Instead, he pulls back and lets you take care of the situation. Sometimes his calm can feel like he's ignoring the issue altogether, leaving you to handle the stress by yourself.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
No, he isn't the type to act modern with you and suddenly expect you to be a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives. He usually keeps his own distance and doesn't put much effort into appearances or following old customs. Mostly, he'll let you decide how to act, staying quiet and not getting involved unless absolutely necessary.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he will most likely stay out of it rather than take sides. He's not the kind to jump in or defend you loudly if there's a problem with others, even with family. Instead, he prefers to step back and avoid getting involved, hoping the issue will settle on its own.
Say you have a conflict with his mother, what will this guy do?
He isn't strongly attached or driven by family bonds, so he's not really a mummy's boy. However, if there's a conflict between you and his mother, he probably won't speak up for you or take anyone's side. Instead, he'll choose to stay silent and distant, avoiding the argument altogether. You may feel alone in these situations because he's not likely to support you openly or challenge his mother for your sake.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
No, he won't share every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He's quite private and keeps personal matters to himself, avoiding uncomfortable talks about your relationship, even with family. However, if you ever wish he'd stand up for you or ask family for help, you might find yourself handling things alone.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Day in and day out, being with him often means more peace than drama. but also more distance than comfort. He gets lost in his own world and interests, leaving you to handle many daily tasks and emotions alone.